So, hello everyone, welcome to our webinar on tourism in Next Generation EU and the Interreg MED program 2021-2027. The webinar is organized by the Horizontal Project on Sustainable Tourism of the European Territorial Cooperation Program on the Mediterranean area, program we will call from now on Interreg MED. I am your host, Thomas Guillot, and I'm working for Nextour. I am talking to you from the most northern city of the Mediterranean area, Brussels. 9 months ago, some of you were present in Catalonia for our first event, but it was already clear at the time that it will be difficult to hold the next one in real life. So I know we are all used to it, but a couple of ground rules. You can ask your question in the chat, and my wonderful co-host Cristina Vincentini will, from La Diba, will respond to you immediately if she has the answer, and a Q&A session will be organized at the end of the meeting. We are pleased to see that more than, I can see the number of participants, 100 participants is connected, but we have more than 200 registered, so they are going to connect little by little. Because most of you are not member of the Sustainable Tourism Community or even the Interreg MED program, we are going to start with a quick introduction of the horizontal project that will be followed by a presentation of the catalogue of outputs we aim to mainstream. And of course, our two guests, Laurent de Mercé from the Directorate General of the Regional and Urban Policy of the European Commission, and here we'll talk about the recovery instruments, React-EU and Next Generation EU, and especially the use of sustainable and resilient regional tourism, and our friend Pascal Lagaille from the Interreg MED Joint Secretariat. She will talk about tourism in the next Interreg MED program 2021-2027. Each speaker will have 15 minutes. I repeat the ground rule. You can ask your question in the chat during the intervention. You have a Q&A pop-up, and you can also say hello in the chat, the other one. And we will have, at the end, a 15-minute Q&A session to wrap up the workshop. We begin with Josep Rodriguez from la Diputació de Barcelona, the Barcelona Provincial Council for a state-of-the-art of the Interreg MED Sustainable Tourism Community. Hello, Josep.
Hello, Thomas. Thank you very much for this introduction, and thank you also to all participants to be able to join us today. We have more than 290 registered people, so we are more than happy, and also to see that most of them are part of our community, but we have also a big participation of stakeholders outside of the Interreg MED program. So I think this is quite positive for us. So as Thomas said, as probably some of you are not familiar with what the MED Sustainable Tourist Community is, I will make a short introduction about who we are and what we do, and also to talk about the future activities of our community. So next slide, please. Yeah, so I will talk very briefly about who we are, also about the past of the community, the present year, and also the future, next 2 years of the activities. Next one. Okay, just very briefly who we are. And the MED Sustainable Tourist Community is a community funded by an European program, which is promoting the interregional cooperation within the Mediterranean. One of the main axes of this program is the sustainable tourism. In fact, this is the most important axis, and it has an investment of 50 million euro of the European money in 24 projects for sustainable tourism in the Mediterranean. These projects are dealing with different thematics, like trying to find alternative to the tourist offer of sand and beach, addressing the tourist pressures of the tourism in the Mediterranean, and also boosting the planning, better planning and management practices in the destination. One important thing is that these 24 projects involve more than 200 partners from different countries and different perspectives, and almost 500 people working in this community of projects, people, and entities. This community of 24 projects has a sort of umbrella project, which is the horizontal project that is helping them to generate synergies, to communicate better, and most important of all, to transfer and capitalize the results of these 24 projects in other destinations. Next one, please. Well, the past, the community started in 2016 with the first 17 projects. So what we have done in the community has been to collect all the knowledge generated by these projects, and through different formats of products. We have developed a catalog of outputs that will be introduced later. Thematic papers, thematic fact sheets, databases, scientific publications, and so on. We have developed also some instruments for policy advocacy, towards advocacy, like the Athens Political Declaration, policy fact sheets or policy recommendations, and of course some communication tools. This first of the community was led by the network Arco Latino with the cooperation with our 6 projects, and it ended at the end of 2019. Next one. And well, the present this year, we started the second phase of the community. We welcome 7 new projects to our community. So now we have the total of 24. And we have also new partners to manage this horizontal project, to manage the community. And this current phase, the horizontal project is managed by the Diputació of Barcelona, Barcelona Provincial Council, in cooperation with other 6 partners. Arco Latino, the previous lead partner, was also joining us, but due to internal changes, they had to leave the horizontal project. And in this second phase, we are focusing our tasks on transferring capitalization, the project results, and also the policy recommendations produced by the community. So we have developed some instruments in order to, some activities in order to make this transfer feasible to the different destinations at Mediterranean level. We have established a sort of territorial antennas per countries, and also we have an antenna in the European institutions and in the southern countries of the Mediterranean. We will carry out different transferring workshops and national and regional debates in order to inform and to transfer and capitalize these results. Next one. But as you know, we have had some important issue during this year, which has been the COVID-19. We have faced different constraints concerning the projects. There have been delays in the implementation of the project, so we have set up different contingency plans. We saw also that the tourism sector is in a survival mode, but we see also that some destinations are pushing to be in a reset mode. And also we have seen that almost all events have been canceled, postponed, or going online. So we have to pilot, to test other kind of cooperation within the stakeholders. But we also see some opportunities in this scenario. We have developed within the community suitable project results and policy recommendations to face the new trends that emerge in this new scenario concerning the sustainability and digitalization. We have seen also that for first time in history, tourism is located at the top of the EU agenda, because of the big crisis that we are facing. We have seen several initiatives from the European institutions to focus on the tourist sector and their recovery. This means that it will be an important role of the tourism, in particular with the greening and digital transition in the EU recovery plans. And finally, we are in the middle of the EU funds discussion for the next programming period. So we are very interested in knowing how tourism will be embedded in this new program. Next one, please. In spite those difficulties we are facing this year, we have been able to participate in several, a big amount of events organized by the community, organized by the project itself, or also organized by other third parties, like fairs, the European Tourist Convention, the UFM, and so on, in order to transfer these results, and we will keep doing this task of dissemination and transfer. Next one. And what about the future? Well, within the future, we are going to work till 2022. We will keep focus on transferring capitalization, not only in the tourist policies, but also in the cohesion policies, how to transfer the results to the new MED program, to the ERTF operational programs in the different countries. And in particular, we are also having an eye to the European tourism recovery plans. And of course, we are going to update and create new publications and tools with the results of the new projects of the community. In this sense, I would like to announce that in February 2021, we will have a community building workshop with all the projects of our community. And final slide. Just if you want some more information about the community and the activities we are carrying out, you can go to our website, press the blue button, because everything is there, and you will see all the documentation, all the publications, and information about the community and our projects. So that's all from my side, and now we are going to hear some more information about these results produced by the projects. So over the last 3 years, a lot of projects of output have been produced, and this is I think it's important to highlight. Thank you very much.
Exactly. Thank you, Josep. So now we are going to go to our partners from the University of Thessaly to present the catalog of outputs of the sustainable tourism community. So it's Dora Papateochari and Spiros Niavis. The floor is yours. Hello.
Thank you. Good morning to everyone. I'm Dora Papateochari from the University of Thessaly in Greece. Our university is responsible for the transferring activities of the community. So I'm here today to present to you one very important output of our community, that is the catalog of outputs, which is a collection of the most important outputs of our community. As you know, it is a very large community of now about 24 projects, so it is a very challenging task. Hermete, can you share the presentation? Great. So, okay, let's move to the first slide. So, what we did is through a collaborative process, we have created this catalog. This process lasted 4 months, actually, because we were in constant communication with each project individually, and we exchanged information about their outputs. And we basically asked the modular projects, the projects of the community, to identify their most tangible outputs. And by tangible, we mean easily replicable outputs that can be easily transferable to other areas of the Mediterranean and beyond. And also there are easy to use tools such as methods, action plans, models, toolkits, and so on. Can we Okay. The aim of this output was to promote the outcomes of the community in order to assist them in two things: in transferring their results to different areas of the Mediterranean, and also incorporate them in tourism-related policies in the Mediterranean and beyond at various spatial scales, from the local, regional, national, supranational. The benefit that the projects, the community can get out of is the promotion of common integrated actions that could actually boost the sustainable and responsible development of coastal and maritime tourism in the Mediterranean. And this way, a community's legacy is being created for the new programming period of 21-27. And also there is a very nice presentation of the community for interested entities in adopting the community's outputs. Next, please. So what we have managed so far is to collect outputs from 15 projects. That means 38 tools outputs. These outputs address 12 policy targets, which we will see later on. And these outputs have been implemented in approximately 200 Mediterranean destinations. Of course, we have a lot of work to do. We have 9 more projects to have a constant communication with and collect this information. And we will do this for the next year very continually. Next, please. Okay, so this is a presentation of the policy targets that we have identified together with the community members. The most important policy targets for tourism. So in terms of policy targets, the ones that are mostly addressed by the outputs were the improvement of capacity building and stakeholder engagement, monitoring of tourism sustainability, and the differentiation of the tourism product. Next in line are the improvement of social well-being, the reducing of seasonality, the addressing of climate change and risk management, and integrating ICZM and MSP principles. Finally, but also important, the outputs have addressed the generation of employment, improving accessibility, the increasing of gross added value, and addressing carrying capacity. As you can see, it seems that the policy targets that are most important for the community are mostly horizontal, so they cover a synthesis of the dimensions of sustainability, and this is very important. Next, please. Here we see in the map the implementation areas of 17 of the projects of our community. We have yet to map another 7 projects. So, as I mentioned, these outputs are covering at about 200 Mediterranean destinations, so they are covering the majority of the Mediterranean, as you can see. And that means that the most important coastal and maritime destinations are being covered by our community in terms of tourism sustainability. Next, please. Okay, so let's see the layout of the catalog. As you can see, we have dedicated 1 page per output, but we will go more into the details of the layout now. Next, please. So the layout starts at the top with the title of the output and the title of the project. So here you can see some examples of outputs coming from 4 projects of our community: Alter Eco, Tourism MED, Sirocco, and Estimate project. Next, please. Here is a presentation of the policy targets that I have presented you before. So here you can see an example from Blue MED project. At the bottom, you can see the three outputs identified by the projects. And the output that is dedicated right now is the establishment and consolidation of underwater museums and diving parks and knowledge awareness centers. So the project has identified that this specific output addressed these specific policy targets. So this gives us a good presentation of what are the most important policy targets for its output. Next, please. So after that, we see a brief description of each output. So there is a brief description showing what this output is doing, what is its aim, and also it is connected with a specific small image representing somehow the output. So it could be a map, it could be a figure, it could be an image from an activity, and so on. Next, please. After that, we see the implementation areas. Here's an example from the emblematic project. You can see that the emblematic project concerns the mountainous areas of the Mediterranean in relation to the coastal areas. So here you can see points of the pilot areas and a list below that. And next to it, you can see a description of an implementation example. Here you can see the example of the Canigo mountain. Next, please. Another example comes from MED Cycle Tour project, which was related to cycling tourism. Here you can see not only points, but also a more linear presentation of the implementation areas. And next, the case of the Andalusia action plan. Next, please. And at the bottom of the page, there is some information about the stakeholders that are important in order to be able to implement this output, their applicability conditions, and some further info about the project. Next, please. So, as I mentioned before, we have a lot of work to do. So there are 9 more projects and more outputs to be added. So we will continue to improve the content of the catalog according to the community needs. So it is a work in progress. We will be in constant communication in order to do this updating. And 2 main goals for us is to use the catalog first as a communication tool, but it is also very important to us to achieve maximum visibility through the transferring and capitalization workshops which we are planning to organize during the next year. So the catalog will be very useful in order for the community. I'm sorry, just before that, yes. And the catalog will be very useful for the community to engage other entities, either authorities or tourism operators or other relevant stakeholders that are interested to adopt its outputs. And also it would be very useful for capitalization purposes. Okay, so at the end, you can see that there is in the next slide, the catalog is announced on the platform. So you can go to our community website and follow the news, and there you can see the catalog online. I don't know if we can switch to the website and make a scroll down and scroll up to see how the projects appearing at the website. Anyway, it is there for you to follow, and I'm available for any questions from everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dora. So Thessalias, it's okay? Or are we going to show the website? Okay. So I guess we can.
Yeah, you can move on, please.
Okay, cool. So now we are going to have our first guest speaker, which is Laurent de Mercé from the Directorate General of Regional and Urban Policy in the European Commission. Hello, Mr. de Mercé.
Hello.
Bonjour.
Can see me and hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know if I cannot see you for now, but it's going to arrive, I guess.
Okay. Anyway. Okay.
Okay, we can see you.
Okay.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So you're going to share my presentation?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to arrive. Are you talking to us from Brussels?
I'm in Brussels. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
So I will give you an overview on the two main tools of Next Generation EU, which has just been agreed between the Council, the Parliament, and the Commission. So I will focus on the Recovery and Resilience Facility and REACT-EU. Next slide, please. Okay, so on this slide you can see the components and amounts of Next Generation EU, which is a total of 750 billion euros, and you see that the two main components are the Recovery and Resilience Facility and the REACT-EU, so the two on which I will focus. Next slide, please. Okay, so the Commission, the Parliament, and the Council agreed on the legislative proposal concerning the Recovery and Resilience Facility, so that it becomes operational as of 1st January 2021. So the money that the member states will receive under the RRF will come in addition to the funding that they normally receive under the EU cohesion policy or from other EU sources. So so there will be grants and loans to support the implementation of investments and reforms. It will help the member state to address pre-existing challenges identified in the context of the European semester and to achieve the EU's policy objective, especially the green and digital transitions. Okay, yes. Okay, so what about the national recovery and resilience plans? So they should demonstrate how the investments and reforms would effectively address challenges identified in the context of the European semester, particularly the country-specific recommendations which were adopted by the Council. The plans should also include measures aimed at addressing the challenges faced by the member states regarding the green and digital transitions. And in particular, each recovery and resilience plan has to include a minimum of 37% of climate-related expenditure and 20% of digital-related expenditure. So the deadline for submission of the plans is 30th of April 2021, but the member states are already encouraged to submit their draft plans from 15 October this year, and some of them already submitted drafts. So it's a dynamic process with dialogues between the Commission and each member state. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Okay, while the recovery and resilience plans will reflect the specific situation of each member state, there are some common challenges that call for coordinated investments and reforms. So the Recovery and Resilience Facility is an opportunity to create European flagships with tangible benefits for the economy and citizens across the EU. The flagships should address issues that are common to all member states, need significant investments, create jobs and growth, and are needed for a twin transition. So you can see there are 7 flagships. So this slide shows the flagships which concern the green transition. Okay, and now, yes, this slide shows the 4 flagships which are linked to the digital transition. So the Commission strongly encourages member states to include in their recovery and resilience plan investments and reforms on these flagships. We can go to the next slide. So what about the assessment of the national plans? So this assessment will be approved by the Council by means of an implementing decision following a proposal from the Commission. So the payments made under the Recovery and Resilience Facility to the Member States will be linked to progress with the implementation of investments and reforms. And you see that the plans have to effectively address the challenges relating to the country-specific recommendations. They have to contribute to the green and digital transitions, and they have to also strengthen the growth potential, job creation, and economic and social resilience. Okay, now, so this was an overview of the Recovery and Resilience Facility. You may have noticed that I didn't mention tourism in this presentation, but I would say that well, first of all, the member states have just started to submit their draft national recovery and resilience plans, and so it's too early to know what is the place of tourism in this plan, but tourism remains a priority for the EU agenda. And while contributing to the 7 flagships I've shown you, I mean, indirectly it can contribute to the tourism sector, but okay, it's a bit early to draw lessons, of course, because the recovery and resilience plan, recovery and resilience facility, the process has just started. Now I'm coming to REACT-EU, which is the second component of Next Generation EU, and it's under cohesion policy, so it's an additional funding to the existing cohesion policy programs, which will help bridging the gap with the long-term recovery. So REACT-EU was decided earlier this year in the spring, and so it's under cohesion policy. So it will support the most affected regions in the remaining 3 years of the current programming period, so up to 2022, and it will focus on the short-term employment schemes and liquidity support to SMEs. So with these 2 priorities, REACT-EU will continue the work performed by the coronavirus response investment initiative, so CRI, which is an initiative taken by the Commission in the spring as an emergency measure to help the SMEs in particular and the health sector. So REACT-EU will also focus on these employment schemes and liquidity support to SMEs. I will come back in the next slide on these measures, but it was really, it must be understood as emergency measures to deal with the crisis. And last but not least, the third priority of REACT-EU is to support the green and digital transition, so to prepare the long-term recovery. And as it is under cohesion policy, we apply for REACT-EU, the partnership principle applies. So it's shared management. So it means that the national and regional authorities have to take initiatives in the programming. So REACT-EU will work with programs as does cohesion policy. And so the stakeholders will work with the existing cohesion policy programs and modify them, or they can build new programs. So next slides, please. Next slide shows a little more how REACT-EU will work. So it will work with the European Social Fund and the European Regional Development Fund, so ESF and ERDF, which are two main funds for cohesion policy. So ESF is about job management and job creation, skills development, and ERDF will for REACT-EU, ERDF will focus on the health services, working capital and investment support to SMEs. So I mentioned the previous CRI measure. So it will REACT-EU will reinforce this support to working capital to SMEs. It's a derogation from the ERDF regulation, but this derogation was decided because of a crisis. And the REACT-EU will support the sectors most affected by the crisis, including tourism, and also transition toward digital and green economy and infrastructure. Can you, just about simplification and flexibility. So in order to make easier the work of the member states and regions, there will be no ex-ante conditionalities, no thematic concentration, co-financing rate up to 100%. So it's quite a boost, I would say, to for the REACT-EU programs. And the expenses, eligible expenses, start from the 1st of February of this year. So it's also, it takes into account the beginning of the crisis. And the Commission will do its best to be quick to approve the programs when they are submitted. And the member states will decide which geographical distribution per fund they will give to the regions. So you see that it's horizontal measures which are provided by REACT-EU, but tourism will be helped a lot by this initiative. Next slide, and it is the last slide. This slide shows the future cohesion policy objectives. So as you know, the new programming period for cohesion policy starts next year, 2021, and the Commission has already made public the five policy objectives, which will under which the investments under cohesion policy must contribute. There is a thematic concentration on a smarter Europe, which is about innovation, the development of solutions, and a greener, low-carbon Europe. But there will be opportunities for funding the tourist sector across all these policy objectives, and in particular, there will under the fourth policy objective, a more social Europe, there is a new specific objective related to culture and tourism. It was proposed by the Commission this year in the context of a crisis. So this specific objective will enhance the role of culture and tourism in economic development, social inclusion, and social innovation. So it should give more visibility to the culture and tourism sectors and enable some channeling of funding. But it will not prevent funding under the other policy objective, for example, a smarter Europe, which is about innovation and which will remain the main beneficiary under thematic concentration. So this is the end of my overview on I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. de Mercé. I remind everyone that can you please stay with us until the end of the workshop. I remind everyone if you have questions, we will have a Q&A session at the end of the workshop, which is going to be right after our next and last speaker, which is Pascal Lagaille from the Joint Secretariat of the Interreg MED program. So hello, Pascal, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm good, thank you.
That's
Good morning,
nice.
everyone.
Yes, you can go.
Okay, I will wait for Hermete to put my presentation online. And so just to introduce myself, I'm working in the Interreg MED program and more particularly on the sustainable tourism thematic. And before giving you an insight of the future program, I just would like to put it in today's context. The future EuroMed program, because the change will name from MED to EuroMed, so it will be a continuity of today's period of what has been developed in the 2014-2020 period. And we will use what has worked, the successful achievements, and also the tested coordination systems, such as the thematic community that invited us today. And so we will use all this to improve the impacts in all the program area and ideally beyond. So we have therefore drawn conclusions to improve it in its future version. And I mean, we are not starting from scratch. We are using several documents and several feedbacks from actors of the sustainable tourism. And yes, I would like to show you my presentation, but I'm waiting for it to be displayed. Maybe I can try it myself now if it's working.
It's coming.
Okay, thank you, Hermete. So if you
no.
can. Yeah, that is this
sorry.
one. Okay.
Yeah, it's the wrong one. Sorry. Oh.
Even the first one you had before, it's fine. If it's easier for you.
It's okay. We are in advance, so that's nice.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And I remind all the participants that yes, of course, we will. You will receive all the PPT from the session. I know it's a question with ask in the chat quite often.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I can start without the presentation. I was saying that we are not starting from scratch and we are using several documents and feedbacks. Okay, I have mine here. Of course, we have the orientation from the European Commission. So please, Hermete, it's the second one, the next slide. Here it is, thank you. So we have the orientation paper that gives us the general guideline for us to draft the future strategy. But we are also inspired from the EU Green Deal and as well the conclusions from the thematic communities, the whole communities, not only the tourism community, but we are of course using their feedbacks because they tested solutions on the territories, and so that it's important to try to improve the program. We also from our side evaluated the program, so we are taking the results of this evaluation. Finally, it's the member states also that are deciding what the program will be focused on for the next period. So we are also taking the requirements from the member states, And finally, we are taking into consideration the impacts of the pandemic crisis. So this whole thing will lead us to the EuroMed program 21-27. So now I will show you the future architecture of our program. Please omit the next one. Yes, okay, it's a bit small, but I hope I will explain anyway. So first, I have to insist on an important point, which is that for now, this information is still under validation process. So it might not change that much, but it's not yet validated by the member state and by the European Commission. So it's the main idea. There are still ongoing discussion, and we will hope to validate this whole architecture for the future year, next year. So for now, the mission of the program, the main goal, you can see here, okay. The main goal of the program is to contribute to the transition towards a climate neutral society. Within this main goal, we will have 3 missions. The first one is focused on the innovative sustainable economy. The second one is on protecting and restoring the natural environment. And the third mission is promoting green living areas. You will have the opportunity to read the detail in our future program, cooperation program, but still it's not validated. So I don't have any more details for now. And to come to the topic you are interested in today, which is the sustainable tourism, I have to say that is a transversal question, meaning that the tourism will be, we will be able to tackle the sustainable tourism either within mission 1 or 2 or 3. So what will be a good way to improve the sustainability of the tourism. Within those missions, we will have specific objectives. It's a bit like we have this for this period. The first one in the mission 1 will be consolidating a competitive innovation ecosystem with 4 helix stakeholders. Then we will have an objective on the circular economy. In the mission 2, we will have the improvement and management of natural resources and the prevention and mitigation of risks. And the third one will be to supporting energy transition and greener living areas. In front of this, as Mr. Mercier showed the cohesion policy objectives, we put the priority 1, that is a smarter Europe. For us, it will be a smarter MED. It will be answered by the mission 1. And as you can see, the greener Europe, that for us will be the greener MED, it will be answered by mission 2 and 3. So it's the biggest one, the biggest part where we have the biggest budget as well. And on the top of that, we have also a priority inspired from the Interreg specific objective based on the governance. So we will tackle also the Mediterranean governance, in which we will work on the tourism. Yes, that's it for the mission of the program. Now I can give you a small overview of what is new beyond the themes that I presented, and it will generally remain in the continuity of our current program. So please, the next one. I'll go there. Okay. So as you can see, I'm sorry, I have to be honest, we will have a lower budget and a bigger territory. But here you have the budget we just learned last week for the Interreg, and for our case, the transnational cooperation. So it's almost 1.5 million. We still don't have the exact amount for the future program, the future EuroMed program. So we will show it and communicate on it as soon as it is decided. But to remain more positive, because having a lower budget and bigger territory means that the selection will certainly be tougher. but it will be a good opportunity to appropriate yourself what already exists, and there's to take advantage of the sustainable tourism community, which is already working well, has good results. And so it will be as what we are willing to do to increase the impacts of what has been done and to go further to develop more good solutions. So that is the good point I wanted to underline on this information. Okay, thank you. So the architecture has changed a bit, as I showed you, and also the typologies of projects. And yes, I will show you now the different typology of projects. So the next slide, please. Okay, here we have a program oriented on result and governance. You see the two columns. The first column is focused on the territorial cooperation, meaning that we will focus on specific territories, and the impact would be at local and regional level. And I was talking about the typology of projects. You will have the unimodal projects, like projects for studying projects or testing projects or transferring. And we will have also key territorial projects. The name of those projects are still not validated, but it should be like this. Key territorial projects, for example, is more focused on a specific thematic and territory, like the waste management in the islands. So this will be really specific. And on the side of this, we have the cross-cutting cooperation that will be tackled by the governance on the whole MED area. And the typology of projects for the governance will be the thematic community project that corresponding today as our horizontal projects, such as the sustainable tourism project, or the institutional projects. This will make the link with the modular projects that will have results locally and regionally to deploy the results through the whole MED area. Yes, next slide, please. Okay, a kind of some kind of actions in tourism. Those examples are extracted from the draft strategy of the future program. So you can address the tourism in promoting existing and new solutions through the smart tourism, so-called smart tourism. You can also address supporting and promoting circular and sustainable practices in the tourism sector. You can also encourage platforms to recover for the tourism sector, and also to improve connection of urban and inland remote areas, including islands, and paying attention to the tourism sector. Those are example of actions. When we will draft the terms of references for the future calls, you will have this kind of actions developed and some more examples. And now, so this is the type of actions, and now an important point is, which is the calendar. So please, the next slide. Okay, I'll go there. Ideally, because everything is still under discussion, and we are really working for it to be as soon as possible. So between January and May, we will still have discussion between member states and with the European Commission. We will have also a stakeholder consultation that will be displayed on our website. So if you're interested to participate to this reflection, you will be able to give your voice and your opinion. And this should be validated by the member states beginning of spring. In June and July, we are hoping to submit the program to the European Commission to have it validated, and then right after this to launch the first call. The first call will be on the governance thematic. to have the actors already in place, ready to take the results from the future modular projects, just to make quickly the link, because this was a weak point that we noticed in this programming period. So now we're taking it in the other way. And so if the first call is launched beginning of summer, we are hoping to have the first projects by the end of next year to start. So yes, that's basically what will happen in the coming months for the future Interreg EuroMed. And yes, I hope that this will have aroused your interest in grabbing the opportunities offered by our cooperation program. Yes, and the next slide, please. Yes, we had our annual event held last November, and it was dedicated to our future programming period. And most of the documents I talked about can be found there. So I can put the link in the chat, and also I encourage you to go visit our website. We will soon have a page dedicated to the future program. So just to tell you to keep an eye on it. That's it. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Pascal.
Welcome.
That was very exciting. So we are right on time, which is a miracle. And we begin now the Q&A session. So how does it work? My colleague Cristina Vincentini from La Diputació de Barcelona is going to read your question asked in the Q&A box, which is right beside the chat box, and our speakers will respond to it. Of course, it would be nice to hear your voices, but there is just too many of you. There is still 182 participants, which is very exciting for us. And voilà. So, Christina, you can start.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Thomas. Good morning to all of you. Okay, let's see which questions we have in the question and answer chat box. Okay, start from the first one, which is a question for Pascal Laguet. Pascal said that the new EuroMed program will embrace a larger territory. Which one?
Yes, okay. Just to remind that it's still under discussion, but the proposal was to have the North Macedonia, the Bulgaria, and some Spanish regions. That's it. It's more inland regions from Spain, because today we have all the coastal areas. So that's it. That's the new regions envisaged.
Okay, thank you, Pascal.
Welcome.
Another question from Merce Boiroura. When are the new thematic community projects expected to start? Will it be at the same time as the modular projects? Thank you. It's again for you, I think, Pascal.
Sorry, Christina, I didn't really understand. Can you say it again, please?
Okay. When are the new thematic community projects expected to start? Will it be at the same time as the modular projects?
Well, no, it should be put in place right before, to have the community ready to uptake the results of the modular projects. Okay. But still, I'm sorry, I have to say that it's not validated by the member state. That's the idea for now.
Okay, thank you, Pascal. Another question from Viorica Schmidinger. I'm an Italy-based product manager for a German-Swiss tour operator. How can we tour operators actively involved in the program, in the Interreg programs, for proposing to our future clients a product that is in line with your purposes?
So if I understood, I can see two answers. One is to be part of a project, to be a partner. So to find a partnership that is willing to work on the same idea, but because we are a cooperation program. So first you have to be willing to work with other partners from the south of Europe. And so this is for the first solution to be part of a project. So answering our call for proposal and being selected and put in place the project. And otherwise, we have on our website the results displayed of our project. So you can, and also the sustainable tourism community, the project has a web platform that is Search the Med. So we have several tools to find what is already existing and that could help you. Then you can also contact the partners, because all the partners are displayed on our website. And so that's it. You can take the results that are already tested and working, or be part of one of our future projects, I would say.
Okay, thank you, Pascal. Another question for you, I think, from Lars von der Vettern. First of all, bravo on the initiative. How is a good way for SMEs, businesses to participate?
Okay, as a target, I would say that it is more easy to go in the mission one, that is innovative, sustainable economy, because here we have our specific objective that is, I will read it, consolidating a competitive innovation ecosystem with 4 HELIX stakeholders. I know it's a bit tricky name, but here most of the SMEs can be integrated in our projects. But also it is not close to this one. We have also the transition to a circular economy. So you can, as an SME, participate to this. Just like to be, if you are a partner, you can test any solution that will be developed within the projects. So that would be a good option.
Okay, thank you, Pascal. Okay, one question from Chiara Guidani. All or most of all the partners from a previous modular projects can join the new call to increase the results of the previous project?
Of course. Yes. Yes.
Okay, easy to answer.
Yes.
Then another question from Filippo Costa. Is there a participant portal to help project ideas become proposal? Is it the role of the Sustainable Tourism Network?
Okay, for the portal, yeah, we are working on it. We are working on our future website, and we are thinking about having a forum to help partners to meet and to just to put their ideas here and saying hello, who's interested. And so yes, we will have this, and the sustainable tourism community can be of any help as well. The local antennas, maybe, if Joseph wants to add something to this.
Yeah, well, of course, we are going to provide information about the future goals and information also about other programs that could be interesting for tourism stakeholders in the future programming period.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yes.
And can I remind everyone that even though Pascal is very nice, there is also a second speaker which is going to be happy to respond to your question too. Voilà. You can go on, Christina.
Okay. We have a question from Emmanuel Maniscalco. Thank you very much, Pascal, for the very interesting presentation. The calendar seems quite optimistic to me, which is very positive, especially as regards the launch of the first call. What is your margin of flexibility as regards the launch of the first call, e.g. mid 2022, end of 2022? Or are you certain the first calls will be launched by early 2022?
If you mean that if if you are thinking that our first call will not be launched next summer, yes, it will be beginning of 2022. That's if I understood correctly the question. Yes, we are running to have it open by next summer, but it depends on so many persons and decisions that we cannot say today that it's feasible. I agree, we are really optimistic, but that is our main goal today. So, and if it's not possible, yes, it will be in 2022.
Okay, thank you, Pascal. One question from Lore Caramarco. How is it foreseen the continuance of Panorama MED upon its completion in 2022?
Okay, so the called thematic, and I don't remember the sorry, the name of the future projects. Thematic community projects will link. No, sorry, I'm answering another thing. So the results from the, I mean, Panorama MED has already results, and the future institutional project will have to uptake the same for the modular projects. We will ask them to take the results already produced today. So this will be the link, and the thematic community projects will be put on the governance side of our future program, and there will be the link with what has been done with Panorama MED and the strategic projects and the integrated project and the model, all the results with the institutional project. Everything will be linked. We are trying to avoid the partition, yes, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Okay, thank you, Pascal. One question from Barbara Pirilli. How will be the co-financing rate? And in particular for Italy, will the remaining co-financing be covered from national funds? Thank you.
For now, I don't have this information. I would say it will remain the same. And for Italy, yes, it is the national co-financing, but still the budget is not decided for the future Euromed program. And we don't know yet again what the national authorities will do and the co-financing. I think it will remain the same, but I am not sure. I cannot tell you this for now.
Okay, thank you. One question from Valeria Duflo. I am new to this kind of programs. Is it possible to answer or win several calls when you work on several areas of interest to EU, or should it be limited to just one?
No, it's possible. Today we have partners working in several projects, so it's possible. So we have some specific restrictions, sometimes depending on the type of calls, but it's possible. Now it's really linked to one call and another, so it will be written in the terms of references.
Okay. One question from Alejandro González. Will there be the European Interreg program too? Where can we find related information?
Will there be what? Sorry, Christina?
I think it means an Interreg program for Europe. Interreg Europe, I think it means.
Yes, there is Interreg Europe, but it's a really different program. And I don't have
I think all questions related to Interreg Europe can be asked directly to Interreg Europe. I'm going to copy-paste the website of Interreg Europe.
I was going to say, go check their website.
Yes, and they're probably going to have the same kind of event. So just go there and voilà. You can.
Yeah, I would like to say that today we are focusing on the new Interreg MED program and also in the EU recovery and resilience plans. So there is an honor to have those two speakers today explaining the details of these new opportunities. But there are other funding opportunities from the European funds for the tourist sector, because there are Interreg cross-border cooperation programs. There are calls from the DG Grow and so on. So there are other opportunities for the next programming period that, but probably in the future, we will have to organize a meeting to talk about this.
Yes, and I do remind to everyone, if they have questions about React EU or Next Generation EU, they can ask it in the Q&A boxes.
Okay. We have a question also for Mr. Demerse. How can we ensure that tourism gets the funding it deserves? What should we do from the regions to support this in the framework of Next Generation EU? This is a question from Cristina Cuesta.
Okay, so first of all, tourism is already supported by various initiatives, as it was just recalled. Under cohesion policy, for example, in the current programming period, which ends this year, direct investments to the tourism sector correspond to 5 billion euros of expenses planned. It's direct. I mean, it's direct measurable investments for tourism, because there are also indirectly, for example, the investments for digitalization of companies, or investments for innovation. They can also contribute to the tourism sector indirectly. And for the next programming, well, yes, for the next programming period, well, we have, yes, React EU. So I told you that it's a kind of bridge between the current and the next programming period to help the companies in the context of the crisis. So React EU, tourism is indeed one of the main priority sectors for React EU. And as I told you, it's a partnership principle, shared management. So it is really up to the authorities which design the programs to make sure that tourism is a target. So the programs have then to be approved by the Commission, but initially it's really up to the national and local authorities to make sure that tourism is addressed. And also, I mentioned for the next programming period under ERDF, this new specific objective for tourism and culture, which will give more visibility to the sector. So indeed, there are plenty of, even if tourism is not always mentioned in the, for example, in the flagships or in the thematic priorities, there are plenty of opportunities for funding the tourism sector through the various cohesion policy objectives.
Okay, thank you very much. One question for Pascal. Given the problems caused by the COVID crisis, especially for tourism initiatives, is the ongoing program considering any flexibility for ongoing projects?
So it's is it a question for me? Or?
I think it was for me.
Yeah, I think it's for Pascal because it's the ongoing Interreg MED project program.
If you are thinking about an extension of the projects, for now, the program is still closing in 2022. So we cannot extend the projects more than this. We have a specific options for the horizontal and panorama that are allowed to have extension because they are supposed to uptake the results of the closed projects, modular projects. So for now, it is not granted. And yeah, a lot of persons are asking for this. And I think the question we will will be put on the table next year, but we have to see how things are going for at least the beginning of next year, with the pandemic situation and also with the catching up of the delays that we had so far.
Okay, thank you, Pascal.
Not for now, but we'll see next year.
Okay. Now a question to all speakers. What would you say will be key to success for the 2027 period? To any of you, Josep or Laurent?
Yeah, well, I would say that now we have an opportunity to transform the model of the tourism in the Mediterranean. So I think the key for success is in to what extent we are able to make this transformation through the digital or greening transition. I think this is the key.
Okay, thank you, Laurent. I don't know if you want to add something to this.
Yes, yes, I fully agree with what the previous speaker said. In fact, we have the crisis, but which is not finished and which strongly hit the tourism sector. But we have this opportunity provided by the new tools for the recovery. So it's really an opportunity to seize under Cohesion policy. So it's a decentralized process. So it's really it will be a success if at all levels the stakeholders seize the opportunities and for example they design good programs and they make sure that the calendar is respected.
Thank you. Just a last quick question for Pascal. Which new areas from Spain will be covered by the program?
I'm sorry, I don't have the answer. I just learned that Spain had asked for to enlarge the area, but I don't have. I would say, but I am not sure that it goes beyond the actual regions. But for now, I don't have this information.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I don't know if we have some time for some other questions or it's 11:20.
It's 5 minutes late, but if people want to stay, we can have one last question, I guess.
Okay, we have one question more in the Q&A chat box from Francisco Benitez. Do you seriously think that we want to move forwards a more sustainable tourism and consumption partners? To all of the speakers.
It's a very philosophical question.
Yeah. Josep, do you want to say something?
Well, we are working on that. So at least all the project partners of our community has had this will of moving, generating new solutions to developing another kind of tourism in the Mediterranean.
That's our wish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice conclusion.
Let me, Thomas, let me make a final words because I saw at the beginning of the questions and answers chat box that some people were asking how to participate in the community and so on. So formally, the members of the Sustainable Tourism Community are the project partners of the approved projects by the program. So these more than 200 entities that are project partners. But in any case, we are open. All the information produced by the community is public, is available in our website or other communication tools for the public. And also all the activities we are going to carry out in the next 2 years will be open to the participation of the stakeholders. There will be some activities organized by the different antennas in the territory. So if, for instance, if you are in Cyprus, you will receive information about those activities in Cyprus. And as I said, we are more than happy to have the participation of other stakeholders. Thank you, Thomas.
Okay. Thomas, we have just 2 more questions in the chat box. Can I read them very quickly, or maybe it's too late?
Christina?
And we can answer by email if participants want to.
I think Pascal wants to say something.
Yes, sorry, Christine. I just wanted to add also that we have the associated partners. For us, the associated partners they are not getting funds from the European program, but they can still work more closely with the project. So if you are interested in any results already produced or any idea of projects, you can just talk to the lead partners and see what are the links that can be done. And to be an associated partners is a good way to get more directly the results of our ongoing projects. That's it. I just wanted to add this. Thank you.
Christina, you said there was a question in the chat box?
Yeah, but maybe we can answer by email directly. If it's a bit late, I think.
Yes, I think. Unless you think they are very important.
What? Sorry?
Unless you think they are very important, but okay. So a big thanks to the speakers, and especially Pascal Lagaille and Laurent de Mercé for connecting with us today. Thank you all very much for attending this webinar. This is a very exciting future for sustainable tourism. I hope our friend Francisco Benitez will understand that we will talk about all the philosophy about the project later on. Please register to the Adriatic Union Eurovision event. Our colleague Andrea has shared the link into the chat box. And of course, the video recording of this event will be publicly available with the presentation later on. We will send you an email to all registered participants. Thank you very much, guys. See you later.
Welcome.
And see you next year in February 2022. 2021, sorry. That's right, Joseph. It's February.
Thank you, Thomas.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.